Welcome to the Brand Doctor Podcast, strategies that help entrepreneurs build reputable and profitable brands. Here's your host, Henry Kaminski Jr.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Henry Kaminski here from UniqueDesignz.net with another Brand Doctor Podcast episode for you guys. And today I want to take a second. It's the day after Christmas, and it's pretty quiet around here. So I want to take today and sort of do a year in review with you guys, kind of share with you my key takeaways of 2017, and hopefully they spark some idea and spark some motivation and inspiration for you guys for 2018. So, let's dive right in and start with number one. And number one is specializing versus generalizing. And I've talked about this in previous episodes, where the specialist is always going to get paid more, right? They're always going to be more valuable because they are experts in that specific niche, that specific thing, right? When I was first getting my act together with Unique Designz back in 2014, when things started to sort of take a turn for the worse, I was hiring all the generalists that I possibly could hire. I was purchasing all the courses and all of that stuff to immerse myself. And there's a time and place to hire these generalists, especially when you're first starting out. But as you start to get more comfortable with the niche or with your expertise that you want to really hone in on, then you really got to start to refine, and you really got to start to specialize. And that's what I did for 2017. I stopped with the business consultants that I was hiring. I stopped hiring these people that gave me the broad scope, right? And I started hiring people for specific reasons. I wanted to sharpen my sales skills. What did I do? I hired a sales coach. I wanted to get better with my online presence. So what did I do? I hired a media coach. I wanted somebody to help me with business development. What did I do? I hired someone who specializes in business development. I wanted to serve a more targeted audience, a certain entrepreneur that I knew that I could help at the highest level because I had the most experience with that. So I started to speak to solopreneurs, coaches, consultants, public speakers, those types of individuals, personal brands, right? That is the target audience that I truly wanted to serve. And so I just tweaked all of my messaging and all of my branding towards these individuals. Why? Because narrow and specific wins. Okay, so think about where you are in your business, where you want to go, and what is the best strategy for you at this moment? Do you have to continue to hire the generalists to get the overall perspective, or have you passed that point and you really want to refine a specific area in your business, sales, marketing, branding, whatever? Right? So specialization versus generalization. The next thing I want to talk about is not being afraid to kill it. I'm going to take you back to February of 2017, where I met with Dan Meredith, Ryan Lee, Ben Settle out in Westchester, New York. And they did this 2-day workshop. And the first day was sort of a broad sort of look at how to create Facebook groups, how to do this, how to do that. And I was like, all right, this is good stuff. And then I paid the extra couple bucks and I went the next day, where you got more one-on-one with these 3 people. And they really, really honed in on some of the things that they saw Unique Designz being that didn't do the brand justice. For example, I started the Passionpreneur Inner Circle group earlier this year. And after having Dan and Ryan and Ben sort of looking at that program, they were like, we don't understand where this fits in. I'm trying to figure out where the passionpreneur fits into branding and what it is that you're really, really good at. And so Dan he was the best. He was like, I kind of think it's corny, and I suggest you kill it because it doesn't even fit. Like, it doesn't make sense in your repertoire of deliverable. And so I thought about it and I said, interesting. I've spent the past 2.5 months, almost 3 months, building this group and trying to refine it and trying to get it to work, right? And it was decently successful. I mean, it was bringing in a few $100s of passive income, if you will, a month, but it started to become a headache. And when Dan and Ryan and Ben basically said, dude, you got to kill this, I would spend your energy somewhere else because this doesn't make sense. I just killed it. I came home and I said, you know what? Let's just stop and let's focus our energy, focus our time, focus our money on other things that are on brand to Unique Designz. And so that's what I did. And you know what? I didn't think twice about it, which brings me to the next sort of takeaway of 2017. And it's not to get romantic with what your products and your services, because when you start to get too attached to them, you don't make the right decisions. And so I want you to think about this for a second and ask yourself, am I too romantically involved with my logo? Am I too romantically involved with my website? Am I too romantically involved in the products and services that I'm delivering to my clients? And am I just fighting myself because I'm too afraid to let go? I've put too much time, work, effort, money into something, and I don't want to let it go. I don't want to let it die. But on the flip, you realize that this product or service has brought you no money. Your logo and website are outdated. Your strategy, your overall brand is in need of desperate help. And you're just too stubborn to let go and concede and understand that you're going to get to where you want to be a lot quicker by making the changes that you need to make immediately to get this ball rolling forward and to get you the results that you're looking to get quicker. So it's just not getting romantic with it and really focusing in on what matters and what's going to bring you the best result. So the other thing that I want to share with you guys, and this was a big one. This one I got from my sales coach, and I took a look back at 2017 and I compared it to 2016. And some of you guys have heard me talk about this. And my refund rate and chargeback rate nearly disappeared. It's almost non-existent. It's literally non-existent in 2017 compared to 2016. And I asked myself, how did this happen? Like, what did I do differently in 2017 that allowed the refunds to be almost extinct and the chargebacks go down to practically zero? And it was this concept of performing. And it's not a new concept. It's just a different way of looking at the way you do business and the way you execute your product or service or your customer experience. And my coach said to me, he said, you shouldn't have to worry about refunds. You shouldn't have to worry about chargebacks if you're performing at an optimum level. That's it. So you just got to deliver. You know, it's like when the basketball player, the NBA star shows up for the game. Like, they come in 100% and they deliver. That's why Kobe, was the man. Because he showed up every day and took that same jump shot that he took every single game and just dominated the game. And that's what I realized. I said, wow, 2017, I started to perform way better and execute way better than I ever have, which led to 0 refunds and minimal chargebacks. I got 3 chargebacks this year, and I shouldn't say beat, but won all disputes because it was just a numbnut of a client trying to get over on me. And it didn't work. I had everything documented. Everything was approved. Everything was done on my end. They were just not the right fit of a client. And so they tried to charge back, and we disputed it, and we won. So, but we performed, and that's the key. So I want you to look at your branding. I want you to look at your business. I want you to look at everything for 2018 and ask yourself, how am I going to outperform my competition? How am I going to outperform myself? How am I going to raise the bar for myself so that I could perform at an optimum level? So I don't have to worry about refunds. I want to if you want to reduce risk for your customers and share a better customer experience with them, for those that are skeptical of hiring you, you say, listen, if I don't deliver 100% of what I say I'm going to do, I'll give you 100% of your money back. How's that sound? You put all the chips on their side of the table, right? I have no problem saying that because I know that I deliver on what it is that I say that I deliver. So, performing. Learn to perform like an Olympic athlete. Learn to perform like an all-star. And that is going to help you tremendously in 2018 and the years to come. The next thing I want to talk about is feedback and the importance of feedback. Getting that feedback that will allow you to see those blind spots. One of the biggest things that I realized in 2017 was that if you don't know what you're doing wrong, how do you know what to fix? And so I pay people an exorbitant amount of money to tell me where I'm deficient. Not that I want to focus on the weakness, but I want to get it outsourced. I want to get it nipped in the butt as soon as possible so that I could start winning again. And that was one of the things that I realized I was spending when I hired this particular coach. I realized that I was spending a tremendous amount of time on the wrong things. For example, I'd spent a lot of time doing Instagram live videos when that really wasn't a good place for me to be putting out content. Then I realized that podcasting was very, very helpful in getting my message out. I happened to really, really enjoy it. And so I spent more time podcasting and landed some really great clients from it. And so that was the best investment I could have made, is hiring that consultant and having them tell me where I should be spending time and where I shouldn't be spending time, and giving me that clarity, giving me that guidance that I needed so that I didn't waste time, because I don't get that time back. We don't get that time back. So getting that feedback and not being afraid to receive it, being confident in enough in yourself to know that you have a choice. You can take the feedback and execute on it, or you can throw it in the garbage. Listen, I've gotten some feedback from a few people this year that I didn't do anything with because I didn't agree with it. And that's fine. It's what feels right in this gut. That's what's going to help you. That's what's going to help you. So get that feedback and don't be afraid of it. It's going to help you. Believe me. The next thing that I wanted to share with you is I really started to pay attention to how I presented myself and the way that I interacted on Instagram specifically. Instagram and Facebook. And what I realized was engagement is where the gold is lying. And the real nuggets of value are in the comments. They're in the comments. I created some really awesome toolkits this year based on the comments that I've received from my Instagram following, my Facebook following. And I took that information and I created some valuable resources for my community, for my audience. And what I realized where I was losing on Instagram and Facebook was I wasn't dialoguing with my audience. I was monologuing to them. I was speaking at them. I wasn't speaking with them. So you got to understand that people want to be part of something. They don't want to be spoken to. They want to be spoken with. And so understanding that and inviting them into the conversation allowed me to build some really great relationships with new clients this year. And that, my friends, is what we cannot forget. We have to treat our audience as our friends, as a community, as someone that is going to be with us, not somebody who we are just looking at as a dollar sign. We want to include them in the conversation. We want to ask them questions. We want to get their feedback. We want to get their perspective. Make them feel a part of your brand. Look at Red Bull. Look at Apple. Look at Microsoft coming up. Look at all these bigger brands. Look at ClickFunnels, how they created the funnel hacker community. Look at Dan Meredith with his Coffee with Dan. Built huge communities. Big stuff. Because they engaged. The other thing that I want to talk about is modeling and refining. You know, success leaves clues. A lot of my clients hear me say this all the time. Success leaves clues. Stop trying to figure it all out from scratch. Look at the other people that are dominating in your industry and look at what they're doing, how they're doing it, and why they're doing it. And model it. And then refine it down to your XYZ toolkit, your program, your service, your deliverable. Put your spin on it and run with it. A lot of the stuff that I've executed this year was looking at other people doing what I was doing that are 4 or 5 chapters ahead of me and modeling it, executing on it, and making it my own. And I got a hell of a lot. I got where I wanted to be a hell of a lot faster this year by doing that versus trying to reinvent the wheel. So model and refine. And I'll tell you right now, 2018 is going to be the year of refinement for me and Unique Designz, because I know now that I have all the tools that I need. Now it's just sharpening each tool to help me deliver a great customer experience and help me deliver an optimum product and service that is going to help people build their brands. And so model and refine. The next thing I want to talk about is staying narrow and consistent. You know, I'll give you a quick example. One of the things that I did this year was I paid attention to the social media platforms that I really enjoyed being on. And I just put all my time and effort into them. You know, when Snapchat came out this year, went big this year. I dabbled in it. I tried it. I didn't like it. Then I realized my target audience isn't there. They're not hanging out on Snapchat. And so I stopped. Delete from the phone and started paying attention to where my audience is hanging out. It's Facebook. It's Instagram. It's LinkedIn. We're continuing a heavy campaign right now on LinkedIn because higher quality client, higher quality people, No offense to Facebook and Instagram, but it's a more professional platform. And I'm a business to business business. So I'm going to go where businesses hang out. Right? So staying narrow and consistent and showing up every single day. That was one of my commitments to 2017 was I'm going to show up every day and I'm going to perform. And that's what we did. So I got some really cool ideas coming up for 2018 that are going to include a lot of my team this year or this upcoming year. Because a lot of people say, how the hell do you do what you do? How the hell are you able to execute what you execute? Well, it's not just me. I mean, there's 16 people behind the scenes that are executing and doing amazing things. And I want to bring them out. I want to bring them to the forefront. And I want to share with you how we do things going forward. Why? Because you're never going to duplicate me. You could model and you could steal and you could hack and you could do all those things, but you're never going to do it the way Henry Kaminski does it. I'll promise you that. So I don't care. And I want to get the audience that is truly, truly committed to changing and leveling up their brands to see the amount of talent that is hiding behind the Unique Designz walls and share with you the power. Because we're not just designing logos and websites anymore. We're designing lifestyles. We're designing brands that are super fulfilling to our clients. We're designing brands that they're proud to promote. We're designing brands that are building confidence in people's lives, that are completely transforming the way they live. That's what we do. And we do it in a very systematic approach. So staying narrow and consistent. We got two more guys, and then I'm going to wrap this up. So the next thing I realized was this. And this is, again, no new epic, proprietary idea. But when I realized that listening more to my audience versus talking more to my audience helped me refine and really clarify what it is that my audience truly needed, wanted, and desired. It allowed me to execute on that and help me provide a service or a product to help them get that, fulfill that need. So I started to listen more. I started to listen a lot more, like 80% more listening, 20% talking. That will open your eyes to a lot of things. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. So listen more, which leads me to my last takeaway of 2017. Listen, when you ask the right questions, you get the right answers. And a lot of the big questions that I ask my clients when I'm working with them or before I decide to work with them is why? Why are you doing this? Why do you want a new website? Why do you want a new logo? Why do you want to reface your brand? Why do you want to level up your brand? Why do you want more clients? Why? Because people buy your why before the how and the what. Thank you, Simon Sinek, for sharing that beautiful, beautiful piece of value. People will buy your why before your what or your how. So I want to know why people do the things that they do. That's going to open up Pandora's box for me. And that's going to allow me to know whether or not they're a good fit, whether I'm going to truly be able to help them, and help me save a hell of a lot of time. So asking the right questions will get you the right answers. So there you have it, guys. 2017 in a nutshell. I hope you got some value out of this one. I will ask you guys, if you haven't shared this podcast with a friend or a colleague yet, please do. It's much appreciated, and thank you so much for all the people that are tuning in on a regular basis. If it wasn't for you guys, this podcast would not exist. And last but not least, if you haven't joined the Brand Doctors Hangout Facebook group, go check that out on Facebook now. Just go over to the search query, type in Brand Doctors Hangout, click join, and come hang out with me and a few hundred other entrepreneurs that are all working together to help each other take our businesses to the next level. So happy New Year's, guys, and enjoy the next couple of days of quietness and get ready for 2018. Set those goals and make it happen. Talk to you soon, guys. Take care.
You've been listening to the Brand Doctor Podcast with Henry Kaminski Jr. To get your appointment with the doctor, visit Brand Audit at www.uniquedesignz.net.